Okay, another one I'm going to talk about real quickly is The Color Purple.
Oh.
The 2023 movie based off the Broadway show.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Originally, the book, Alice Walker, very well received. And Steven Spielberg took it and did a movie, Oprah Winfrey, Whoopi Goldberg, Danny Glover. Very, very well received. Highly recommended if you haven't seen the original. And then from that, it was turned into a musical, which I never saw, but ran on Broadway. I mean, still might be on Broadway. Like, very, very successful. And then once again, Amblin and Oprah Winfrey, and Quincy Jones, because Quincy Jones, I think, the original soundtrack for the movie Steven Spielberg, came in to produce this. It's one of those things that's a bummer. It's like things go so quickly out of the theater, you're like, wait. So I come to my kitchen and I hear, I'm like, what are you watching? To my husband. I'm like, is this the new Color Purple? Like, that's already on a streaming platform? And he goes, yeah, because I never saw the original. I'm like, he goes, was there singing and dancing in the original? I'm like, not like this.
Yeah.
I go, whoa. Where are you in it? Only like 10 minutes. And I go, okay, stop.
Hold on. Yeah.
I actually am intrigued to watch this. So let's restart it in the big room. Because he's watching like on the little screen in the kitchen.
Yeah. This is the classic. You can't merge in the middle. You got to like restart from the beginning.
Luckily, I stopped him early.
What, John?
Wait, that's not something that you like, Catherine?
Well,
merge watching?
Yeah. Whoops, I started in the middle and then I decided I better actually stop and watch it from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I loved it.
Oh, wow.
So the lead, Celie, played by Fantasia, who you might know from American Idol.
Right. Fantasia Barrino.
Fantastic. That was the Whoopi Goldberg character.
Oh, okay.
They do it just like the movie, where it first starts off, it's two young girls. And
are they sisters or
they're
friends?
They're sisters. Okay. And there's a harrowing element to it where their household just feels unsafe. And there's something that happens to her character, Celie's, that, for a young girl, is awful. Like pregnancy, and you're like, who got her pregnant? Oh, God. And now, all that.
So timeline-wise, this happens after the Civil War. So we're talking about they're recently freed from slavery, but it's still very terrible and not good.
It just, as a black woman, I mean, I don't know if you have any rights.
Yeah.
And then, there's just elements of it that just still feel very much Jim Crow, or it's going to feel Jim Crow, is going to feel like suppression of rights as a black citizen of the United States of America. I mean, that is throughout. So, but Celie's character is really the most oppressed because she has babies taken away from her, and she's twins basically, and separated from her sister basically at the start of the movie. So she has no one. And she's really put into a position that she's basically a slave. And she thinks the man that she's sold to, she doesn't even know his name. She just calls him Mr.
Oh, jeez.
And her heartbreak, and Fantasia does such a good job, is so palpable of just the longing and the missing of what her sister and her babies, and she doesn't know where her babies were. She thought they were dead. So Fantasia, who I think actually was in the Broadway production, does such a good job. I mean, you feel it. And then dance numbers and singing will come in. And you're like, what? But they did an excellent job. So the cast is amazing. Taraji Henson, Danielle Brooks, who you may know from Orange is the New Black.
Right.
And then, he's having a moment. Colman Domingo.
Oh, yeah. Colman Domingo is having a big moment.
He
Between
plays,
this and Rustin.
He plays Mr.
Oh, uh-oh.
And I said, damn, because really, you hate him. Oh. And he does such a good job in it. So it's a story, like I said, a Celie as the main character of like how she's going to overcome.
Well, you said she was basically a slave. How is that? Because I don't know the story very well, so sorry if I am
She gets basically sold by her father. I don't want to put quotes around that, but her father to Mr. to be a wife. So she has no say in it. So one day she's at the family store sweeping the porch, and the next day she is gone from her sister, ripped from her home, and it's like basically you're going to clean, cook, take care of my children. You're going to, we'll be intimate. You'll have no say in it, and it's just awful. And it's only because of Taraji's character that comes in,
which, by the way, you have to say Taraji P. Henson. You got to have that P in there.
Okay, so Taraji P. Henson, her character Suge Avery, who is a singer-performer, comes back to town, and that kind of upends everything. Because you see a woman who does have power, who does have her sort of own essence to her and, control. And
Yeah, I've seen from the trailer, she's like doing a big show. Like, she's
There's sort of a
is showgirl the
speakeasy.
wrong? Yeah, okay.
There's a speakeasy that she performs at. And like I said, the singing and the dancing rarely feels forced or out of place, which it can be very hard to take a Broadway constructed set environment and put it in a real context.
Yeah.
They did an excellent job. The cast really carries it. Danielle Brooks, who is nominated for Academy Award because she plays the Oprah Winfrey character. She plays Sophia. She is Mr.'s son's daughter-in-law, but it goes...
Mr. Son's daughter-in-law. Okay.
So it goes real left, real quick. Like, because she is so strong, she's not going to let a man put her hands on her. There's a great song called Hell No.
Ooh.
That she kills it. And she's just a very strong character. Now there is a arc there of where her spirit is broken and how it comes back is just, you're like, yes.
Oh, good for her.
I really recommend it because it's just, and like I said, I read the book in high school, saw the movie, never saw the Broadway play, but then this version. It's so interesting, the long sort of life it's had. And Fantasia was just heartbreaking and fabulous in it. And Danielle Brooks was great. And the characters were great. The set was great. A lot of the songs you really do love. You're like, oh, that's beautiful. Or, oh my goodness, it'll give you chills.
Or a big anthem, yeah. Well, because Danielle Brooks, I think from Orange is the New Black, she is amazing. So between the two of them.
Hoppa. I mean, she just, also there are lines that remind you back of the original where you're like, oh my gosh. And I think the famous line is like, God gets pissed if you walk by the color purple and don't notice it. So that's really the ode. That's said by H.E.R, and that's said to Celie because they form a true friendship that saves her in the end.
Oh, wow.
So there is redemption, there is hope, but it starts out very bleak, even as a musical. So, but it is fabulous. And I know there's a little drama after the fact because, I mean, talk about irony. Taraji P. Henson came out and talked about sort of the struggle for equal pay even in a movie like this and being treated a particular way. And then that always speaks to like, well, okay, who are your producers? But then it's a bigger problem. It's like, well, what did your agent fight for or not fight for? It's just, she kind of brought an awareness to the fact that like women of diversity and women, and then a broader women in the industry still have such a hard time being treated with equality.
Yeah.
Because Taraji P. Henson
she's
is
a
like,
force.
She is an A-lister.
Wasn't she nominated for Benjamin Button?
I think she's been nominated multiple
times. And
times.
Hidden Figures?
Oh, yeah.
Multiple
Amazing
projects.
movie.
Empire, like that kind of put that programming on the map. And even that, I think...
She was amazing in that. Cookie.
Yeah. So for her to speak out and say, if I'm not willing to fight for this equality, what's going to happen to the women coming up behind me?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, but that kind of, when you're doing a press tour, it's supposed to be all like, everything was great.
Oh, yeah. You got to do it, though. If you don't take those opportunities, good for her.
No, and she was fantastic as H.E.R in it. Sings and dances and, I mean, and I was sitting with my husband and he like loved it. He did not fall asleep. Which is practically the bar now. But he actually thought it was really fantastic. So you can watch it on Amazon.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.